Shout out to ShipStation for sponsoring this episode. Try ShipStation free for 30 days and get an additional month free if you use promo code NO. Go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, type in our code NO. Welcome to the Know. I'm Brian. Yet another Riot Games employee has spoken out about the toxic culture she experienced while working at the developer. In a post on her website titled 6 Months at Riot Games, game developer Megan Marie described a pretty terrible work culture, to put it mildly. She wrote, "Rape became a punchline to jokes quite frequently, including one instance where an employee went on for several hours about how he was going to rape his male colleague, who was also his hotel roommate." Yikes. And it didn't stop there. She described an environment where women were frequently belittled. All of this came to light after a big expose from Kotaku that detailed several instances of sexual harassment at the company. Riot has responded. They said in a statement to ESPN, "This article shines a light on areas where we haven't lived up to our own values, which will not stand at Riot. We've taken action against many of the specific instances in the article, and we're committed to digging in, addressing every issue, and fixing the underlying causes." The developer of Call of Duty Black Ops 4 has rolled out a new mode for the game, and it'll be playable in this weekend's beta. It's called Heist, and it involves 2 teams, 5 players each, who have to find a money bag and then take it to an extraction point. Yeah, it's a heist. That sounds like a heist. You can't start with your normal gear, though. Everybody starts with a pistol, then you gotta gather better gear as the game goes on. Now, the mode, like I said, is gonna be part of the weekend beta, and this one's not just for PS4 players, also gonna add PC and Xbox One gamers too, so that's going to be awesome. That beta kicks off at noon Central today. As for Black Ops 4, it's about 2 months away. It releases October 14th. It looks like Steep is not coming to the Switch after all. The developer of the snowboarding game was asked on Twitter about the Switch version, which had previously been announced. It replied, "We are wholly dedicated to supporting the live game and made the decision to stop Steep development on the Nintendo Switch platform to focus on bringing new live content and challenges to Steep players instead." So that's kind of a bummer, but hey guys, a little bit of advice. Next time you're gonna cancel a port, maybe make an official announcement rather than doing it in a Twitter reply. I'm no PR genius, but you might want to do something a little more official than that. Cuphead has gone triple platinum. The hand-drawn, hard-as-shit run-and-gun from studio MDHR has now sold 3 million copies. In a post, the studio said, "It's hard for us to express just how appreciative we are to everyone who has played and enjoyed our niche little run-and-gun game with the wacky rubber hose characters." To celebrate, they're putting the game on sale on Steam and Xbox One, so if you've never played it, you can get it right now for about $16 on those platforms instead of the normal 20. Trust me, I played it, I beat it, it is worth it. King Dice was the hardest though, in my opinion. German regulators have lifted a long-time ban on swastikas in video games. Germany's game rating agency USK announced that video games will now be considered like movies when it comes to their content. That basically means that they're considered works of art, and as such, they're exempt from the country's ban on swastikas. Now, in the past, that ban has led to some kind of odd moments in video games when they get translated over to Germany. The German version of Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus doesn't have swastikas, and it even gets rid of Hitler's mustache, which is kind of weird for a game about killing Nazis. Instead, it just kind of looks like you're murdering an old dude in a bathrobe. The German Games Industry Association, they were happy with the move. They said they have long campaigned for games to finally be permitted to play an equal role in social discourse without exception. The reviews for We Happy Few are in, and they're not so good. Nope, the indie adventure game got some really bad scores, clocking in at a 66 on Metacritic and a 65 on OpenCritic. That is game rating speak for it's not good. Basically, everyone agreed that while the game is set in 1960s England, there's kind of a psychedelic retro feel, they agreed that it had an interesting concept, but a lot of people said it wasn't much fun to play, which If you're a video game, that's kind of a killer right there. Windows Central said, despite the performance issues, We Happy Few is a must-own title for any gamer who loves survival open world titles and quality world building. But pretty much everyone else felt like the game sucked ass. US Gamer said, there's a lot to like about We Happy Few with its unique psychedelic dystopian setting and well-developed story, but it's the moment-to-moment action that crashes down on you like a bad dose of joy. And Game Revolution, they put it very, very bluntly, for $60, I needed to see more quality, and instead became overloaded with quantity. Ouch. Monster Hunter World is already off to a huge start on Steam. According to the good folks at Steam Charts, the action RPG has already hit a peak of nearly 240,000 players, which makes it the best game launch of the year on Steam, beating out the previous contender Far Cry 5. That is great news for the Monster Hunter franchise, which has already sold more than 8 million copies of Monster Hunter World on consoles. All this means that after years of the franchise being a big hit in Japan, it's finally broken through in the West. That is good news. We have finally got a release date for the much delayed online service for the Switch. Just kidding, it's more like a release area, a release couple of weeks, if you will. In a tweet, Nintendo of America said that the service will launch in the second half of September. Nintendo says that the service is going to provide access to online play and save data cloud backup in compatible games, and a growing library of NES titles with added online play. A year of it's going to cost you $20, which is less than Sony's or Microsoft's online service, but in fairness, the Switch Online has a lot fewer features too. Hey, remember when Sony got all excited about their Spider-Man spin-offs and planned like 10 of them, and then they were like, psych, and started walking some of them back, and they shelved projects like the proposed Silver Sable and Black Cat team-up called Silver and Black? Well, that project might be dead, but the characters, they are still in play. In fact, Deadline reports that Sony has decided to split the two up and give them their own movies, with the Black Cat likely being the priority. Both are well-known Spider-Man side characters, with Black Cat being a long-time on-again, off-again romantic interest for Spider-Man, who also happens to be a crazy good cat burglar, hence the nickname. Sony's still got potential spin-offs in the works, though, with a fair chunk of the 900 or so characters they have at their disposal, including Kraven the Hunter, Silk, Jackpot, and of course, first one out of the gate, Venom. Speaking of which, guess what? Venom might end up being PG-13. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer, especially since he's a badass alien symbiote with teeth, and he's talking about ripping people's heads and arms off and making people into giant turds. Yeah, that's total PG-13. We expected an R-rated movie, and that is reportedly what they shot, but now Sony's considering kind of taming it down a bit, but they got a good reason. If they keep PG-13, then maybe Spider-Man can be in the next one, apparently. Right now, they just won't take their family-friendly character and put him in an R-rated movie. But if they establish Venom as a PG-13 franchise, then they've laid the tracks to finally bring Spider-Man and Venom together. Now, usually when a studio cuts an R-rated movie to make it PG-13, it's because they want that little extra box office they can get. But Sony is obviously looking further down the road. Maybe this will defang the movie, or maybe it won't be all that noticeable. But if Tom Hardy is cool as Eddie Brock / Venom, then we are going to want to see him face off with Spider-Man. That's just what happens when it comes to Spider-Man and Venom, so it might be a good call. On the other hand, I personally would like an R-rated Venom. That's just me. I guess we'll see this October when Venom hits screens. All right, that is all the news we've got for today. Let us know what you think about these stories in the comments below. And for all your news from every corner of the internet, like this video, subscribe to The Know, and have a great weekend. Thanks to ShipStation for sponsoring this update. In this increasingly digital world, any of us can set up and run a small business over the internet. Whether you're doing art, merch, Patreon rewards, whatever, you want to get your orders out quickly and keep your customers happy, right? enter ShipStation.com. It's a fast and easy way to manage and ship orders all from one place. Whether you're using Shopify, Squarespace, Etsy, BigCommerce, WooCommerce, or dozens of other channels to sell your stuff to your customers. ShipStation brings all of your orders into one simple interface. Then you can use it to create shipping labels for all the top carriers, including UPS, FedEx, and USPS, so you can ship more in less time with the best rates. Right now, try ShipStation free for 30 days and get an additional month free only if you use our promo code NO. So go to ShipStation.com. Before you do anything else, click on the microphone at the top of the homepage, type in our promo code NO. Besides, they have the best tagline ever: make ship happen. That rules.